Chrysler should have filed months ago. Filed for bankruptcy to save us this drama, save taxpayers billions in bailout money. We welcome Representative Dan Burton, a Republican from Indiana. Welcome, Representative. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, Liz. Well, Dave, how are you?
Here we go.
Fine,
you know, you and I and David talked about this months ago, and now we come to the same conclusion that we knew would happen anyway, but with billions that were funneled through and out and into the ether, what should have been done? What could have been done?
We should have gone through Chapter 11 with Chrysler and General Motors back then. We would have saved the taxpayers $25 billion. And at that, if we'd started then, I think we could have resolved this problem quicker and in a lot different way, a much different way. But, you know, getting back to the issue that Dennis Kucinich was talking about, because I listened to you talking to him, the entire approach that the Obama administration has used to deal with this economic problem that we're facing is wrong. Ronald Reagan faced the same thing back in the early 80s, and he cut taxes across the board and gave us the longest period of economic recovery in our history. And they had very similar problems then, just like they do now. What Obama wants to do is raise taxes and take over the entire economy. This man, in my opinion, is a collectivist. He believes in a collectivist society, and I think he has very strong socialist tendencies, and it really scares me because he's moving not only in the auto industry, but the energy industry, the health industry, every place. And that's a bad recipe for the future of this country.
Well, of course, you're calling them liars, Congressman, because they say they want to get out of the car industry as soon as possible and that they don't want to interfere in it politically in any way, that they want to let the private managers do their job. Clearly, you don't think they're telling the truth.
I don't believe they're going to do what they're saying. The president said during the campaign a lot of things that he has changed since he became the president of the United States. The thing that bothers me is that he says that he doesn't want to take over the auto industry and control it. But the fact of the matter is, they have been controlling it. He's going to control that board. He's going to control the executives at General Motors, just like he did before when he fired the chief executive officer of General Motors. I think this man believes that government knows the answers, and he believes in a redistribution of wealth, and he has an entirely different approach to government than what most Americans want.
Representative Burton, you know, to see the acceleration in spending is dismaying, certainly, but we've got to mention that it started back in September under the Bush administration and Henry Paulson, who really twisted the arms of everybody, or at least induced enough panic to make people believe, yes, we needed the TARP. I'm not saying we didn't. There are very smart people who say we absolutely had to at least establish confidence in our banking system, but what should have been done, and what missteps did the Republicans make?
We heard those things like I just was talking about back in the early 80s, but people don't seem to remember that. I think Geithner and the previous Secretary of the Treasury were protecting some of their own interests on Wall Street. It really bothers me because they're Wall Street guys in the first place, and they were down there trying to protect, I think, some of the people that they've worked with in the past, and I think it's very troubling. I voted against TARP. I think that the Bush administration should not have moved the way they did. I think they should have looked at each financial institution and said, look, this one can be saved, and then try to figure out a way with warrants and maybe some help to get those companies over the hump. But those that were destined to fail, we should have let them go just like they did back in the early 80s. And regarding China and these other things they were talking about, China already owns about $700 or $800 billion of our debt. They're concerned about the devaluation of their currency because we're spending so much money right now. We are going to have severe inflationary problems. I think you and David both realize that, because they're going to spend $4 to $5 trillion that we don't have over the next 5 years. And the president was talking about our kids and our grandkids and how we have to suffer now for them. Well, what he's doing now is going to make them suffer a lot, too, in my opinion.
Congressman Dan Burton, thanks very much.
Thank you. Will those left in charge at General Motors be free from government interference in running the reborn auto company?